All right, let's dive into a story about absolute power, crushing poverty, and a love that was, well, never, ever supposed to happen. This is part one of The King, the Jinn, and Catherine.
So here's the question that sits right at the heart of it all. I mean, we've all seen love triangles, right? But what happens when one corner of that triangle isn't even human? That little twist, that changes everything. So let's set the scene.
Our story begins in a world that's really defined by loneliness. We're starting small, in a quiet little village, and that's where we're going to meet our main character.
So meet Catherine. She's basically an outcast, you know. The villagers don't hate her for who she is, they just ignore her because she's poor. And yet, there's this incredible paradox about her. She has absolutely nothing, but she carries this deep sense of peace. You can see it in the way she whispers to her flowers, almost like they're the only friends she has in the entire world.
And this is where you really see the two opposite poles of our story. You've got Catherine on one side, poverty, peace, totally ignored. And on the other, you have the king, power, loneliness, and always obeyed. They could not be more different, but they share this one profound thing, this deep, isolating solitude. And that shared vulnerability, that's key.
And this is the exact moment their worlds collide. It happens in a flash. A royal procession is passing through, there's a brief pause and a single glance. The king, a man who has everything you could possibly imagine, is just completely captivated by Catherine's simple peace. His one question, who is she? It sets a course for a fate that no one can stop.
He just couldn't get her out of his head. The story tells us he actually started sending soldiers, in secret, just to watch her from a distance, to buy her flowers without her knowing who they were from. This wasn't just some passing fancy. It was an obsession taking root, and it was leading to a decision that was about to shake the entire kingdom.
But here's the thing. While the king was watching from the lonely distance of his throne, someone else was getting closer. Someone who was building a totally different and, frankly, a far more impossible connection with her.
Every single evening, a young man named Bunny starts visiting her, and he is the complete opposite of the king. He's simple, he's gentle, and he's there. He doesn't see her poverty, he just sees her. He listens to her, he laughs with her, and in her incredibly lonely world, he becomes the one person she actually waits for.
And you can just feel that gentle connection starting to form in this little exchange. It's so quiet and soft, built on these small, shared moments. For the very first time in her life, someone isn't just looking at Catherine, they're truly seeing her, and her heart is starting to respond.
But of course, there's a mystery here, right? This kind, gentle man who seems to just appear out of thin air. Who is he, really?
And there it is. That's the answer. Bunny, the gentle visitor, the man who brought laughter back into her life, that's all a mask. Because underneath it is something else entirely. Something ancient, something powerful, and something not of this world.
He's a Jinn, and not just any Jinn, mind you. He's royalty in his own supernatural world. And that is what makes this so incredibly dangerous. His love for Catherine is forbidden. He's breaking the sacred rules of his kind by falling for a human, and he's hiding this massive secret because he knows the truth could destroy absolutely everything.
So now we've got our two rivals. We have the human king, obsessed from a distance, and the supernatural Jinn, connected by a secret, forbidden love. And this is the point where their two worlds are about to violently collide.
Back in the palace, the king makes his shocking announcement. And the court just goes into an uproar. Ministers are protesting, nobles are mocking the whole idea. But the king? He is absolute in his decision. He doesn't care about status, he wants the peace that he saw in Catherine's eyes.
And just like that, Catherine's quiet life is completely shattered. Soldiers show up at her little stall, the village that once ignored her is now buzzing with her name, and she is just left there, completely terrified. Her world has been turned upside down by a man she has never, ever spoken to. This brings us to the final, tense moments of our story, where Catherine is suddenly caught between a king's command and a Jinn's secret love. This is truly a choice of fate.
That evening, she tells Bunny the news, and you can just hear the fear and confusion in her voice. For her, this is not some grand opportunity, it's an inescapable fate being forced on her.
And Bunny's reaction? It's chilling. For the very first time since they met, there's no gentle smile. No soft words. Just a deep, heavy silence.
And you can feel it. In that silence, something inside of him just snaps. The gentle human facade that Catherine fell in love with, it starts to crumble away.
And what replaces it is something else. Something dark. And let's be clear, this isn't just human jealousy. This is the ancient, possessive nature of a Jinn, a powerful being who is about to lose the one thing he broke all the rules for.
His question just hangs in the air, and it is loaded with fear and desperation. He knows that if she goes into that palace, if she becomes the king's, he will lose her forever. And her choice? It's not just a choice anymore, it's a trigger for him.
The world itself seems to react to his turmoil. The sky feels strange, the wind moves differently. It's like the atmosphere is responding to the fact that this powerful, supernatural being's emotions are flaring out of control. Something has been awakened.
And that is exactly where we're going to leave it. A king is preparing for a wedding. A girl is trapped by fate, and a Jinn's true, terrifying nature is about to be unleashed. Which brings us to our final question for part 1. When a forbidden love like this is threatened, what kind of power rises from the darkness to protect it? I guess we'll find out in part 2.
Today, we're going to dive into a story that asks a pretty tough question. What happens when love isn't gentle? What happens when it's a destructive force of nature? We're about to find out, because we're exploring the world of a Jinn prince whose love has the power to literally shatter kingdoms. We're starting with this line, because, really, it tells you everything you need to know. This isn't your typical romance. It's a warning. It sets the stage for a love that's more like a hurricane, a force with the power to tear everything apart. So how does a love story that's destined for destruction even begin? Well, it doesn't start with a big explosion. It starts quietly with this really unsettling feeling that there's a dangerous truth hiding just beneath the surface. So let's meet Catherine. It's the night before she's supposed to leave for the palace, but something just feels off. The air's heavy, and the one person who's always there, a gentle guy named Bunny, is nowhere to be found. This little break in her routine, it's our first sign that things are about to go sideways fast. And yeah, that leads us right to the million-dollar question of this whole first part. To Catherine, Bunny is just this simple, kind guy. But behind that face she knows so well, there's a secret. An absolutely terrifying one. I mean, just look at this contrast. It's night and day, right? On one side, you have this sweet, gentle man she thought she knew, and on the other, a powerful Jinn prince. This isn't just him wearing a disguise. It's a war inside himself between love and immense power. And pretty soon, those two worlds are going to crash into each other. And here we go, right from the source. This is his motivation. He wasn't abandoning her. He actually thought he was protecting her by staying away. But now that the king is coming for her, that protective instinct, it's twisted into something possessive. You can feel the ground start to crack and the shadows gathering. His love is about to become a weapon. So with that threat just hanging in the air, the story basically ignites. The secret is out of the bag, and these two worlds don't just meet, they collide. Violently. And things happen fast. I mean, blink and you'll miss it. What starts as this formal royal occasion is just shattered in seconds. First, this crazy, unnatural storm rolls in. Then, the Jinn prince, Bunny, appears in his true form, and right on his heels, the king himself. The stage is officially set for a massive showdown. And just try to put yourself in her shoes for a second. This is the real horror of the moment. To everyone else, he's a monster. To the king, he's an enemy. But to Catherine, this creature with glowing eyes is someone she knows, someone she cares about. Her entire reality just crumbles with that one question. Now, this is where everything shifts. It's not about Catherine's feelings anymore. Listen to the language here. I chose her. She belongs. Catherine actually screams that she isn't an object they get to choose. But you know what? Neither of them is listening. This has gone way beyond love. It's a raw battle for ownership. And you know exactly where a power struggle like that is headed, right? All-out war. A war that's fought in the name of love, sure, but it's really fueled by pure possession. The king gives the order, and that's it. Any chance of talking this out is just gone. The line has been drawn in the sand, and the battle is on. So the soldiers rush in, and it's completely useless. It's like throwing pebbles at a tidal wave. The Jinn prince just stomps his foot, and the ground shatters, sending soldiers flying. For these guys, it's not a battle. It's a massacre. But hold on, the king has a trick up his sleeve. Turns out he's not just a king, he's a monster hunter. And this is the turning point. He pulls out this weapon of ancient magic, a glowing blade made for one thing, killing supernatural beings just like the Jinn Prince. And suddenly, this one-sided slaughter becomes a brutal, earth-shattering fight. But let's not forget who's caught in the middle of this epic clash. While these two powerful forces are tearing the world apart, Catherine is just standing there, the emotional center of it all. She isn't watching two monsters fight, she's watching her entire world get destroyed. That's the real cost of their war. Okay, so this incredible battle can't go on forever. And the way it ends, well, it's just tragic. And it all comes down to one final, heartbreaking confession. After the king's magic blade finally strikes him, Bunny has this moment of pure clarity. Catherine asks him, why? Why did you do all this? And this is his answer. It's the core of the whole story. His love, so desperate not to lose her, became something selfish, something that would rather destroy everything than let go. And with one last burst of energy, he vanishes. Just gone. This single word says it all. The sudden, deafening silence on the battlefield. No body, no trace. Just an empty space where he used to be. So the fighting is over, the dust settles. But what's left behind? Well, this final section is all about the quiet, devastating aftermath. Let's look at the scoreboard, shall we? Did anyone really win? The village can be rebuilt, sure, but the people are forever changed. The king got his victory, but it felt completely hollow. He didn't win her heart, he just helped break it. And Catherine, she's left an empty shell of who she used to be. In this last detail, man, it just gets you. It's this small, quiet ritual. It shows you that even though the war is over for everyone else, for her, the loss is always there. The ghost of that love never really leaves. Which leaves us with this one final massive question that sits at the very heart of the story. The Jinn Prince said he did it all for love, but all he left behind was ruin. It really makes you wonder, what is love, really? And where do you draw the line between true affection and just destructive selfishness? Definitely something to think about.